Hello everybody and welcome back to Mr. Mac Teaches, and this is The Fox and the Crow part 2, and we're going to talk about the story, what happens in the story and the moral of the story. And I hope you've had a chance to download the document, to try and do a summary, to read it yourself, to make a cartoon, and maybe to think for yourself, what does this story really mean? So let's talk about that. What is the moral of the story? Well, remember, the moral is the lesson that the story is trying to teach us about how we should behave or how other people might behave to us. Because it's not really a story about foxes and crows, it's a story about people and how they behave. So let's think. To get to the moral, we need to recap, summarise the story. Let's think what happens. The story starts when the crow has got cheese in his beak. And the fox wants that cheese, but he can't get it. So the fox makes a plan to get the cheese. And he knows that if he can get the crow to open his beak up, then the cheese is going to fall out because the crow has got the cheese in his beak. He needs his claws to stay on the branch. So, when the crow starts saying all those lovely, kind, positive, complimentary things like, your feathers are so glossy, which means really shiny and healthy looking, and your voice must be so melodious, which means like a sweet, wonderful, beautiful song. The question is any of that true? And the answer to that is, it is not true. None of the things that the fox says are true. He is actually doing something which is called flattery. This is flattery. The fox doesn't mean what he's saying. He's just saying nice things to try to get the crow to do what he wants. That's called flattery. And this is the point of the story. Because remember, the animals are really just like people. And you've got to remember from this story, the moral is that sometimes people only say things that are nice to get what they want from you, to make you feel happy, to make you like them, and maybe so that they'll treat you better, or maybe to get something that they want. So the fox is a flatterer. Here's that word, flattery, a flatterer. And that means you should think, if someone just suddenly appears and starts saying nice things to you unexpectedly, maybe you should think, do they mean this? Or are they really wanting something else? Do they have what we call an ulterior motive? Also, we might learn that the crow is pretty vain and gullible. Vain means someone who's very interested in their looks, very easy to flatter, and gullible is somebody who is easy to trick. So don't be vain, think about your looks all the time and try not to be too gullible. Think, is somebody else trying to trick me? So I hope that you've enjoyed this fable. If you download the second document, you will see that there are lots of other fables. Some of them a little bit shorter and quite famous, like The Boy Who Cried Wolf, and then some which are not so well known but are real favourites of mine, like The Lion and the Three Bulls. So have a go, summarise them, draw them, and enjoy, guys. See you soon.